Hi everyone, this is Ray with the education team from Swirlydoos Kit Club. In this video I'm going to share with you my project for the December 2014 kit, and this is a card box. So you can hold all of your cards inside of this book box. Lots of stuff to decorate out here. And in the kit we have some papers. I'll just show you one of the pieces. This is from the Hot Off the Press Vintage Christmas line. And we have a bunch of other little things that are going to go on here. So to start with, I've taken some white gesso and I've basically just whitewashed all of the parts that I want to do, that I want exposed. The whole thing's going to be covered in paper for the most part, but I want all of these edges to have a nice look on them, and I'm also going to be giving this a finish. And I tried out what I wanted to do, and I'll be sharing that with you in just a sec. So what I've done, and I'll just show you, but this is basically what the edges are going to look like here, is that after I've used gesso, I've used Distress ink and walnut stain, and I've used my blending tool and then once I got the coverage that I wanted to, like I did on this side, I took the entire ink and then I just went like this because it gives you the darker color, and it really does make it look like it's kind of a worn leather look. And I'm just going to keep playing with that until I get it the way that I like it. It's probably going to be darker than this, but I'm just going to be going around making it dark like that, and then going back in with the blending tool in random spots, not everywhere. Now that the ink is dry on my box, I'm going to move on to the next part of the project, and that's going to be covering it with the papers. And I've already cut up all of the papers. I've measured them out to see what I wanted to do, and I'll just share those with you now. This is going to be the cover. So that's going to go like so, and that is a 9 3/4 by 6 3/4. And if it's a little over, that's totally fine because I will just cut off the excess, or I'll use one of my files to make sure I get that on there really nicely. So that is the front. I have a piece on the back that is going to be the same size, the 9 3/4 by 6 3/4. And then on the inside, I have this piece that's going to go right there, and that is 5 5/8 by 8 1/4. And then here's my insert, and that is 5 1/2 by 8 3/4, or 8 3/4 by 5 1/2. It's going to go in there just like that. But I'm going to do a couple of things before I actually glue all of this down. Oh, I forgot to mention I'm going to do the inside too, and I'm going to double that up. I've got these strips, which are just 2 inches, and I've cut 3 of them, so 3 of the 2 by 12s, and then I'll just measure and cut these to size as I'm going along. And I also have these to layer on the inside, and I just use the Martha Stewart deep edge punch for that. It's the one that looks like this. I don't know what it's called. And I also want to tone it down a little bit. These are pretty dark, and even though I like the way that they look, I wanted to tone them down. So I already did it with this one right here. I'm not sure if the camera's going to pick up how nice that looks. Kind of looks a little shabby in there, but it looks better in person. So I'm going to do that to each one of the pieces. And I'm just going to do it by using some white gesso. This is the insert. This is one of the pieces that go from a Petaloo packaging like this. They're the perfect little disposable trays. So I'm going to take a brush that's kind of stiff. I don't want a lot on there. I can always add more. I can't take it off. And if I want to soften that up a little bit, I'll just add some water to the gesso. And while that doesn't really look like a lot now, it will look a lot better on the finished product. For my next step, I'm going to decorate the front of my box. And what I did here is I just put a basic guideline of how I want my embellishments to go. And I haven't treated this or this yet, but this is my idea. But what I want to do first, before I put all this stuff on here, is I want to use a stencil. And I'm just going to use the Prima Brick stencil. This one. And I want to put it on the edges just so it's popping out underneath the embellishments. So what I'm going to do is just take a pencil. And I've already done this part, but I just kind of outlined basically where I would like it to go. It doesn't have to be perfect, but that's how I want that to go right there. And then for this part, I want it to be peeking out over here at the top. Okay, now I'm going to take some puffy paint. I don't think it matters what kind you have. This is just some Snow Rider. This one's a little bit thicker than other puffy paint. It kind of has a grittier texture, but it doesn't really matter. Oh, let's get rid of the rest of those lines there. I'm just going to fill in, basically just cover it up. You can see I'm making it thick. Now that I have a thick coat of that puffy paint on there, I am going to heat it up. And I'm actually going to be using this heat gun. It's a Doris heat tool as opposed to my Ranger one. This one gets a lot hotter. And because that tool gets a lot hotter, this puffs up a lot. And then I'm just going to take my finger and press it down a little bit. I don't want to squish too hard because I'll squish some of it out. And I've already done that on this side and it's dried a little bit. It still feels a little soft, but that's okay. And now I'm going to take some Distress ink and Walnut Stain and lightly tone this down. I don't want to press hard because I don't want to ruin the puffiness of the bricks. For this fence, I am going to paint on some Distress Stain. And this is in Gathered Twigs. So I'm just going to put some of this on my makeshift craft sheet here. And I want to spray just a little bit of water on there just to dilute it a tiny bit. And I just want to put it in here on the back so I can add a little something to it. I apologize, my battery went dead and I didn't get to show you what I've done with this twine here. And all I've done is I've taken a hole punch and I've made a little hole and I put twine here. This is the kind that comes in the kit. I just cut that in half and then put it like that. So I've got that part. On the inside, I'm going to do some minimal decorating here. And that's the inside for the most part. And now for this, we get 3 bells that come in the kit. I only want to put 1 on here because if I put more than 1, then it won't close all the way. It looks kind of funny, but 1 is perfect. But before I do that, I think I want to add something to my burlap here. I think I want to add some lace. And I think I'll just do this off camera, but you can see I will just add a little something to it. It will go around like that. And then I will put my bell on. And it'll take me a few minutes to tie the bow the way that I want it to go. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Go ahead and go to swirlydoos.com and check on the left-hand side of your screen and look for available kits and look for the Christmas card box. Be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on our online community. We have tons of challenges and just a great place to hang out online. Thanks for watching.